France is both a northern and southern European power. It is only European power, despite its seeming isolation near the continental western end, that can attempt to project power in any portion of the European theatre. While the France stand out in his unique access, it lacks, especially today, the size to dominate. Consequently, France is nearly always engaged but not rarely extended. In this video, we will know the geography of France and its geographic problem or geographical advantage. France is bound by Alps in the southwest and Pyrenees in the southeast, the Mediterranean Sea in the south and Atlantic in both west and north. In the east, the France is bound by the river Rhine and the low mountain of the Ardennes, Volgas and Jura. Mountain chain, river and the sea therefore enclose the French at all points save for one, the North American plain, especially Germany, Belgium, Denmark, etc. Access to the plain gives the France its most important geographical advantage because it is at the terminus of the plain or its beginning, depending on one's perspective. France has the advantage of having defended itself only on one lowland and from the sea. However, it is at the same time subject to the same threat, opportunity, temptation that North European plain offer. It can be drawn into the thinking that the road of the conquest is clear ahead or to ignore the threat coming down it as its great cost. The lowland of plain enter the France at Flanders in the extreme northeast, where the Belgium and France border abuts the Atlantic. The plain then continue west past the Ardennes, the heavily forested hill at the southern border of France and Belgium, before the curving southward via Bellows Gap, the aforementioned flatland between the upper reach of Seine and Loire. Finally, the plain flow into the Aquitaine region in extreme southwestern France where it meets the Pyrenees mountain, ending at natural boundary of Iberian Peninsula. In Italy, aside from the massive central in southeast, the France is a country of relatively low-lying terrain with occasional hill. It is interspersed by a number of slow-flowing rivers, most of which are open to the transformation with little or no modification, and which the historically have been connected by canal to facilitate commerce. The territory with greatest of France advantage, navigable rivers, warm climate, sufficient rainfall, good drainage and fertile soil. The area's limestone soil rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium and thus providing the natural fertilizer. And warm climate made possible by North Atlantic drift made it more fertile land in Western Europe. It has been the basic of France's agricultural power for centuries and hold nearly all of the country's agricultural land. Today, it is also the most integrated via robust shown in factor with the rest of Europe. The Beauce region is therefore the French core, as it extends northern border, where the river Marne and Seine meet lie Paris. Paris itself was found on the island of Seine, an easily defensible location that command the control over the land route between the last major curve of the Seine to the north and the river to the south. Whoever controlled the Paris therefore controlled the transformation from the Beauce region to the rest of Europe via the northern European plain. Paris is also close enough to the Atlantic, connected by Seine, to benefit from the oceanic trade route, but far enough away to insulate somewhat from a direct naval invasion. In fact, Paris is as far north as it is in order to keep a close eye on both Viking raid from Atlantic and the once independent minded Normandy, and to complicate any English attempt to establish a permanent base of operation on the south side of English Channel. In comparison with its continental neighbor, France has almost always been an economic advantage because of its geography. Germany has relatively poor agricultural land and poultry access to Baltic Sea, and it is blocked from the Atlantic by British Island. Italy has the fertile Po Valley, but it is blocked by Alps to the north and trapped inside the Mediterranean. France suffers from mountainous terrain and poor agricultural land and relatively useless river. The Russia lack reliable maritime access altogether, as well as the reasonable climate. France has therefore able to portray its geography into enormous economic advantage. Prior to the advent of industrialization, this gave France enormous advantage over its continental rival. At last we say, if you like our video, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. And don't forget to comment.